seated. Bore da, a chroeso I ddinas Cardiff ac I seremoni raddio Prifysgol Cardiff. Good morning and welcome to the city of Cardiff and to the graduation ceremony of Cardiff University. I'm Dr. Chris Turner, and it's with great pleasure that, as University Director, I welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. We're here to celebrate our students' achievements, and I'm particularly pleased to welcome parents, family, and friends to join in this celebration. I'm joined here on stage by the President, Vice-Chancellor, academic staff, and the Students' Union representative. The President, Lord Kinnock, will formally open proceedings, and the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. David Grant, will receive students to their award. Behind me, Professor David Skilton, the university's orator, and later he will introduce our honorary fellow. Honorary fellowships are awarded at our graduation ceremonies to those who have achieved international distinction in their field, and today we are honored to welcome Professor John Andrews. Students, today marks a marvelous milestone in your life, as it does in the lives of those who have supported you over the last few years, and it's good that so many of them are here today. I'm sure it will enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the day if we spend a few moments going through the procedures for the ceremony. For those of you receiving an award today, perhaps you thought that passing your exams was the biggest challenge in gaining your degree, but an even bigger challenge faces you today. You have still to cross this stage and shake hands with the correct person. Try not to seek your award from anyone other than the Vice-Chancellor. Now, the order of proceedings is included in the programme, along with the words used for the various stages of the ceremony under the relevant heading. A presenter will read out the names of the students being received to the same award. When each name is called, the student will ascend the stage, walk towards the Vice-Chancellor and shake his hand. Whilst past experience has shown this to be a little more challenging than it sounds, your approach to the stage and your return to your seat will be carefully guided by our marshals, so don't worry. Once the ceremony is underway, it really is a case of follow the leader. Now, when you leave the stage, you will stand with your group facing the stage, and the Vice-Chancellor will formally receive you to your awards. You will doff in reply, and you'll then be reseated by the marshals. When all awards have been received, students will be asked to stand to receive the university's greetings. Also, and importantly, can I invite you to clap only after the Vice-Chancellor has admitted each group of graduates to their awards, and not as each one crosses the stage. This will ensure that your hands are still in reasonable working order by the end of the ceremony. Finally, can I also ask that you check and ensure that your mobile phone is switched off. We will be providing some musical entertainment later in the ceremony, and I can assure you that it will be better than anything your combined ringtones can produce. Enjoy the ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, as President of this university, it's my great pleasure to join Dr. Turner in welcoming you to Cardiff this morning and to this graduation congregation. And I extend particularly warm greetings to parents and partners and others whose years of love and support will have played a major part in the success that we're celebrating today. I offer also my personal congratulations to those of you who are graduating. I rejoice at your achievement, and you can be absolutely confident that the qualification that you've earned here, a degree or other qualification from Cardiff University, is held in high regard not just in the United Kingdom, but throughout the whole world. That reputation for excellence in teaching and research has been won over 125 years that this university has been in existence, and to maintain that distinction, the university continues its commitment to advances in learning with investment that is now running at over £1 million a week, spread across high technology, student accommodation, arts and humanities, innovative facilities in vision sciences, information technology, clinical body scanning, dentistry, child health, and other study disciplines. Such developments also reinforce Cardiff's standing as one of Britain's leading research-led universities. We're officially recognised to be in the top 7 out of 106 institutions in the United Kingdom for the quality of research, and in recent years, we've seen a huge rise in the awards won by the staff of this university. This year, Cardiff attracted new research funding, which surpassed £110 million for the first time ever. And awards went to a great spectrum of activities, from engineering to history, medicine to law, city planning to philosophy, maths to theology. It's performance like that which also this year gained recognition for Cardiff as one of the top 100 universities in the whole world. That's a great way for us to mark our first 125 years. And as we celebrate that 1¼ centuries, there's so much more to acclaim, including the award of this year Nobel Prize for Medicine to Professor Sir Martin Evans and the Queen's Anniversary Prize to the Institute of Medical Genetics. The launch of one of the world's most powerful supercomputers. The national and international prizes, awards and other distinctions gained by our academic staff, and the sporting, cultural and academic achievements of our students. And also to acclaim is the outstanding success of our 2-year-old Cardiff International Academy of Voice, one of whose marvellous singers, Noel Hernandez, will be performing for us later on this morning. All of these and many other attainments give manifold proof of prowess, of advancing standards of opportunity, excellence, innovation, and Cardiff's commitment to nourishing the potential of those who come here from all parts and all cultures of the world to use their talents to fulfill themselves and to serve the interests of wider humanity. It's those achievements, of course, which we're here to celebrate this morning. They are the greatest source of satisfaction, not only for students themselves, for proud families and friends, but for the university, which is joyous at their success. As Dr. Turner just said, and as you see from your programme, I only repeat it so that everybody is absolutely clear, graduates will be awarded their qualifications by the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Dr. David Grant, and in the final part of the ceremony, the Orator of our university, Professor David Skilton, will introduce Professor John Andrews for the award of an honorary fellowship of Cardiff University in recognition of his internationally distinguished service to higher education and to the law. Again, I repeat, if you could ensure that during the proceedings you clap at the end of the admission into their qualifications of each group of graduates, it doesn't just make for a more orderly set of proceedings, it also shows respect for the health of your hands and, of course, their time constraints to take into account as well. I thank you for your attention, and I wish you every enjoyment of this ceremony.
Darllenir proclamasiwn ffurfiol y Cynulliad yn gyntaf yn Gymraeg ac yna yn Saesneg. The formal proclamation of the congregation will be read first in Welsh, then in English. Nerth gwlad ei gwybodaeth. A nation's strength is in its learning. Boed hysbys I holl aelodau'r brifysgol ac ar hyd a lled y byd, fod cynulliad o Brifysgol Cardiff yn cael ei gynnal heddiw ym Mhrifddinas Cymru. O dan y dywrdod siarta frenhinol y Brifysgol, mae'r cynulliad hwn yn cyfarfod I dderbyn y myfyrwyr sydd yn rhinwedd ei hystudiaethau a'i hysgolheictod wedi arholi yn briodol, yn unol astudio'r Brifysgol, ac wedi ei cael yn deilwng o'i graddau. Wrth allu llwyddiant y rai sy'n graddio yn y cynulliad hwn, fe hatgoffwn o'i cyfrifoldeb I gyfrannu o werthoedd y Brifysgol hon. Nod iddyn hwy yw ceisio trwy ei cyflawniadau wasanaethu y lles pawb, ymdrechu I sicrhau y goriaeth ym mhob peth, ac yn boeni am ddyfodol ein byd. Gwrandewch yn awchus ar ddoethineb, gan ei fod yn cynnig gobaith a'r gwirionedd ym mhob cenhedlaeth. Let it be known to all members of the university and throughout the world that today, in the capital city of Wales, a congregation of Cardiff University is taking place. Under the authority of the university's Royal Charter, this congregation meets to receive those students who, by virtue of their studies and scholarship, have been appropriately examined according to the statutes of the university and found worthy of their degrees. We celebrate the success of those who graduate in this congregation, and in doing so, remind them of their responsibility to share in the values of this university. It is for them to seek, through their achievements, to serve the common good, to strive for excellence on all things, and care for the future of our world. Be attentive to wisdom, for it offers hope and truth in every generation.
Rwyf I, Rasro Hywel Thomas, yn cyflwyno rhai sydd wedi derbyn gradd baglor mewn peirianneg. Akila Anand Tharaman. Jonathan Richard Batson. Ahmed Belim. William Jeremy Andrew Ingle. Lina Hao Ying Lee. Miguel Linyao. Vladimir Ivanov Marinov. Jessica Eve Morgan. Gaith Nasa. Richard Llewellyn Sambrook. Alexander Michael Whitworth. Wei Zhang. Richard Timothy Andrews. Hannah Elizabeth Farrell. Rhiannon Caryl Williams. Ahmad Kamil Abghani. Tao Bai. Nia Victoria Beagles. Ruth Ann Braga. Aled Rhys Davies. Suleiman Fakouri. Henry John Forrest. Howard William Giblin. Alexander William Green. Jonathan James Hancock. Edward Hartley.
Bore da, good morning. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, it is a tradition of the university for the Vice-Chancellor to speak in Welsh to receive each group of graduates to their awards. The Welsh phrase I will use, when translated, means, through the authority conferred upon me by the university, I receive you to the degree, which I will name, and to all the privileges of that degree. Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn peirianneg ac I holl ffreniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Adam Howells. Thomas Lloyd Isaacs. Diomedes Katsorakis. Dongyon Lee. Chithai Lian. Bai Hao Liang. Twangrat Likitplug. Michael Griffiths Lloyd. Owen Long. Lewis David Osborne. Mark James Osborne. Amy Elizabeth Pierce. Alexander William Roberts. Vijay Skandakuma. Richard Sleeman. Owen John Steele. Alexander Swan. Shu Yong Tang. Christopher Thomas. Hugh Rhys Williams. Vincent Wong. Renfei Zhang. Oleinka Tololope Adesunloy. Matthew James Green. Peter James Hall. James Allen Hewitt.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn peirianneg ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Michael Junior Mateta, Ahmed Milad Un, Fidal Pomajambo, Ashfaq Ahmed Rahman, Raj Babish Ramphul, Mariam Razim Hosseini, Saif Aldin Sabri, Nur Lizawati Abdul Rahman, Husam Hussain Barjawi, Matthew Chapman, Yui Fai Cheng, Calvin Chin Wei Tek, Dominic Rhys Hughes, Zerun Jiang, Michael David Cavaney, Mohammed Javad Khan, Robert Knott, Chiao Chi Li, Matthew John Mills, Augustine Obi, John Patrick Snow, Zi Hao Sen, Chiao Chao Wang, Yu Zhang, Manu Arora, Samath Sanakop. Jonathan Waller.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn pensaernia, y peirianneg ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Jayesh Shoham, Matthew James Dyer, Jamie Leon Evans, Matthew James Evans, Amir Gasub, David John Grice, Alexander Francis C. Hender, Robert William Higgin, Niall William Martin, Robert McWilliams, Gemma Rossiter, Sarah Jane Scriven, Graham Whelan, Salman Hussein Al-Lawati, Catherine Allison Dugay, Sachin Kulkarni, Timothy Andrews, Thomas William Birtwistle, Alessandro Pisari, Thomas Andrew James Burrow, Martin Castellano, Penelope Ann Challens, Samantha Jane Clark, Philip James Eddy, Richard Gwynn Gould, David Green, Rhodri Rhys Griffiths.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiheuriadwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn peiriannau ac I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
James Hart, David Hinder, Samuel Thomas Horn, David Joroge Kimani, Peng Lin, Joseph Linnell, George Longworth, Adam Alexander Marsh, Matthew Michael Thomas McKillop, William Myers, James Parker, Kevin Wynne Price, Raja Farooq Raja Baharaddin, Joseph David Rees, Seth Warren Robinson, John Harry Stevenson, David James Stewart Miller, Paul James Thompson, Gregory Unsworth, James Corbett, Lleuki Bethan Davies, Pravinda Indavari Gajadera Vidain, Claire Huntington, Chuk Yin Lau, Trevor Owen Lewis. Michael Junior Mateta.
Rwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn peirianneg ac I holl fryniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Rwy fi'r athro Hywel Thomas yn cyflwyno'r rhai sydd wedi derbyn gradd athro mewn peirianneg. Lauren Elizabeth Bowler. Andrea Gale Charlson. Harriet Sher. Rory Robert Dack. Rebecca Amy Dent. Liam James Guntrip. Thomas Lyle McNeil. Syed Murdad Mirhosseini. Bryn Rogers. Stuart James Taylor. Corinne Aline Trobe. Toby Paul Bedford. Simon Roger Golds. Robert Matthew Palmer. Richard John Phillips. Mark Robert Stanko. Ahmad Shakiran Amir Hamza. Ian Mark Amos. Ahmad Sham Arasad. Ian John Arden. Paul Black. Oliver Richard Brown.
Trwy awdurdod a Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl ffreiniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Russell Carrington. Purav Cheddar. Simon David Clake. Adam Richard Deeks. Catherine Suzanne Dick. Robert Adrian Foster. Lloyd William Goodwin. Edward James Grant. Vanessa Joan Groke. Trusha Halai. David Alexander Harris. Matthew John Hartley. Edward George Hill. Alexander Hinksman. Michael John Hook. Daniel Hubbard. Craig John Hughes. Jason Abe Jacob. Edward James John. Louise Jones. Michael Jones. Jia Liu. Paul Martin Noel Millard.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl freniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Yasado Muthora. Toby Nix. Rachel Mary Rice. Philip John Charles Richardson. James Peter Rivers. Thomas Rosenberg. Martin John Sandwell. Tom James Skinner. Henry Tam. Robin Meredith Tanner. Mekanen Tekle. Rebecca Louise Wiwe. Sean Meredith Williams. Sean Mailer Williams. Christopher James Wood. Yuki Yanai, John James Redford, Philip Christopher Sparrow, George Charles Nathan St. Clair, Rahisham Abdul Rahman, Mohammed Nasir Alias, Siti Haja Azizan, Philip Matthew Thomas Bale,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a amddiriedwyd I mi derbyniaf chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl fryniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Ronira Latif Latte, Rosanna Mohammed Kerr, Matthew Stanley Rawlings, Omer Shazad Khan, Richard Daniel Sidley, Ralisa Sukumaran, Eric Carter, Kerry Shave, Sylvie Bonnie Wynne, Rachel Leanne Braddock, Sean Cleary, Stephen Philip Culwick, Paul Howard Emmons, Richard Evans, James Grant, Rhiannon Louise Johns, Adam Morgan Jones, Owain David Jones, Daniel Paul Mason, Adedayo Odulami, Charlotte Elizabeth Ratcliffe, Michael James Ryan,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a amddiriedwyd I mi derbyniaf chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl fryniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Michael John Taylor. Muhammad Ali. Jamie Marcus Bannister. Catherine Carpenter. Yik Hein Chong. Robert Culver. Aline Owen Davis. Thomas Erwan George. Anthony Harvey. Andrew Philip Jones. Saif Shakur Kazi. Dansho Danshev Konstantinov. Fionn Catherine Lloyd. Patricia Natalia Pino. Michael Rumfit. Seth Edward Luke Russell. David Sawkins. David John Turley. Paul Martin Wilkinson. James Williams. Martin Scott Yard. Zoe Faulkner.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl freiniau y radd hon. Congratulations.
Sir Catherine Jane Beale, Monica Alita Black, Benedict Blackledge, Simon Peter Broomfield, Christopher Stephen Brown, Hannah Carver, Jack David Climose, Kate Condrington, Toby Oliver Clovis Crane, Kaya Zuzana Zelazuch, I Caterini Angeliki Dragapolo Demiri, Katrina Duggan,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau radd hon. Congratulations.
Thomas Eden, Oliver Forsyth, Hannah Elizabeth French, Matthew Howard Granfield, Simon Alexander Hampshire, Betham Louise Hensley, Erioseto Hendrenata, Madeline Kinderman, Hangling Yuki Lam, Jack Finger Lambert, David Patrick Llewellyn Lewis, Thomas Mark McAvinney, David Magoon, Calliope Emanuela Natasi, Matthias Jacob Orzel, Emily Victoria Palliat,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau radd hon. Congratulations.
Jade Ellen Please, Sebastian Lawrence Power, Alexander Russ, Theodora Samaras, Gemma Louise Sampson, Victoria Louise Sanson, Rowan Alexander Sloss, Anna Sorial, Oliver Steels, Laura Mary Suck, Carrie-Anne Louise Thornycroft, Amy Mary Turner, Andrew James Vaness, Alexander Stewart Whitcroft, Rachel Emma Dawn Whittam, Esther Rose Worthington, Him Dominic Yick,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
No. The MRs now. So it's the last thing. I, Professor Philip Jones, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Architecture. Tom William Arvold, Sarah Baguli, Benjamin David Barker, James Matthew Barnfield, Michael John Boole, Ben Bosworth, Jane Breakwell, Richard Philip Brindle, Andrew Paul Brown, Jonathan Edward Chapek, Oliver Croft, Daniel Michael Curtin, Cara Francesca de los Reyes, James Allender, Karen Rachel Eyre, Owen David Francis, Thomas Mark Freeman, Sheena Haley, Emily Ann Hall, Paul Clifford James Hamilton, Kimberly Jane Harris, Robert Hilton, Deborah Helen Humble, Alexander Johnson, Nagin Lin Q, Beng Hockley, Yungka Alan Lee,
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn pensaernïaeth ac I holl freniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Mary Eleanor Liggins, Abigail Ann Lockie, James Lockwood, Daniel Mark Matholi, Ben Joseph McLean, Thomas Michael Wainwright Morgan, Yang Hong Lui, Annie Pace, Raya Patel, Ian James Phillips, Matthew Pope, Robert Neil Powell, Christopher John Rhodes, Gwyn Roberts, Jonathan Neil Rogers, Leanne Russ, Emily Jane Sandercock, Adrian Clifford Shaw, Ilana Lee Graham Stewart, Alice Mary Stewart, Nefeli Ruby Iro Theopanidis, Gemma Nicol Adil Tucker, Alexander Lewis Wallace, David James Witter, Alexei Saranovich Wickramasinghe, Andrew George Wigmore, Olubamis Makinda Williams,
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn pensaernïaeth ac I holl franiau'r radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeschi, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Arts. Hannah Elizabeth Beck. David Ashley Cross. Yun Huejun Lee. Ian David Platt. Gareth Prosser. Roxani Sophia Siloni.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro yn y celfyddydau ac I holl franiau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeschi, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Pooja Narvakar. Eleni Papa. Chin Wei. Wei Chu. Shan Zhang. Simon Bennett. Rebecca Louise Lee. Victoria Mayhew. Ashley Akbari. Thomas K. Owen. Richard Warren Shea. Rachel Marie Williams. Mohammed Akmal. Alex Goretz. Na Lee. Teresa Sebastian. Pericles Trigas. Arvind Kumar Vithilingham.
Rwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl franiau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Thomas Palinsidis. Robert Harper Rickey. Shweta Srivastav. Yusuf Shah. Abdul Mateen Khan Safdar. Mohammed Tawfiq Noor. Mohammed Kasim. Mohammed Mehdi Razmaseni. Kenkeng Zhang. Abdullah Khan Jora. Kali Stella Zawanu. Francis Louise Cobley. Ma Wawa Mint. Mohammed Sadakur Rahman Schumann. Konstantinos Tolias. Yusuf Alisari. Niwien Su Kong.
Rwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl franiau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeschi, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Philosophy. Monica Sharon Cherry. Demetrius Yanulakis.
Trwy awdurdod a prifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn athroniaeth ac I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fidesky, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Engineering. Elizabeth Victoria Wassell Stevenson. Stephen John Rogers. Robert Cross.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd doethwyr mewn peirianneg ac I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fidesky, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Rupa Rajagupta. Julie Amanda Gwilliam. Alexander Conrad Veal. Mohammed Ali. Mark Charles Glendinning. Guy Hewings. Saeed Ahmad Mortazavi Dorche. Norazura Mohammed Benori. Yong Chin. Timothy Daniel Sparks. Mufatsal Haider Syed. Lan Yi.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd doethwyr mewn athroniaeth ac I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
Saeed Emmanuel Abush, Abdul Rahman Al Ghanim, Ulrich Hauser Enninger, Razib Rashidin, Tudor Williams, Shang Yu, Yan Yu, Mark Jonathan Eaton, Jonathan Mark Haynes, Thomas Michael Rees-Grauton, Yu Zheng, Mustafa Al-Kutubi,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd doethyr mewn athroniaeth ac I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
Can I invite all of you who have received your awards this morning to stand so that you can receive the greetings of the President and the President of the Students' Union. Please stand.
Boed a'i gofal yn wastad dros lwydd ac anrhedydd ein prifysgol a'r lles ein byd. May your care ever be for the good name and success of our university and the well-being of our world.
You are now members of the distinguished alumni of this university. May your association with the university be cherished and be constant throughout your life, and may your care ever be for the fellowship of our university and the welfare of all people.
Now, before you sit down, I'm sure that all you very proud graduates would like to join in a long-standing tradition at Cardiff at these ceremonies, and that is to pay a special tribute to your families and friends, and indeed to the academic staff who have supported you over many years, and who have helped you reach this important point in your career today. Can I invite you then to turn around, to greet your family and friends, and to say a special and public thank you to them by giving them an enthusiastic round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated.
Vice-Chancellor, the chief business of the life of John Andrews, Emeritus Professor of Law, formerly Chief Executive of the Higher Education and Further Education Funding Councils for Wales and Chair of the General Teaching Council of Wales, has been to receive and to ensure that others also could receive a full education, using the word in Milton's sense when he wrote, "I call a complete and generous education that which fits a man to perform justly, skillfully and magnanimously all the offices, both private and public, of peace and war." Of peace, yes, certainly. And if warfare has been avoided in recent Welsh educational development, that is in part his doing. Professor Andrews was born in Newport, read law at Oxford, and was called to the bar at Gray's Inn before taking academic posts at Manchester and Birmingham, and moving finally to Aberystwyth, where he became head of the Department of Law in 1970 and vice principal in 1985. He sat on University of Wales committees too numerous to mention, and is rightly proud of his years as chair of the Validation Board, which set standards for institutions in Wales and worldwide. It is, however, on his twin role as simultaneously Chief Executive of the Higher and Further Education Funding Councils for Wales that we should perhaps dwell today. In further education, his achievement was to guide those Cinderellas of education, the former local authority colleges, to independence, encouraging outreach, creating links, and raising the standard of adult skills training to the undoubted benefit of the Welsh economy. Meanwhile, at HEFCW, he saw his role as boosting research in what, with characteristic understatement, he calls a not over-strong higher education sector in Wales. And Cardiff owes him a great debt for his encouragement of our major developments after the merger of 1988. Since then, he's completed his coverage of the field of education in Wales as first chair of the General Teaching Council for Wales, having served before as governor of two of the largest comprehensive schools in Wales. In 2000, he was appointed a CBE for services to Welsh education. Words cannot describe, sir, his other activities and appointments in the time available, but they're going to have to try. As an academic lawyer, his main interests and publications were in criminal law and evidence and in human rights. He was president of the Society of Public Teachers of Law from 1988 to 9, member of the Lord Chancellor's Committee on Legal Education, founding editor of the major scholarly journal Legal Studies, 1980 to 1993, and chair of the Research Assessment Panel in Law in 1992. Among his many government appointments, we must note membership of the Police Training Council and chair of the Police Promotion Examinations Board, 1987 to 2002, in that capacity introducing the Osprey examinations in the early 1990s, which, following the Scarman report into the causes of the Brixton riots, aimed at developing greater interpersonal skills in reacting to emergencies and personal challenges. He describes one of his other appointments to the chair of the Agricultural Wages Board, which he held from 1999 to 2003, as calling for the wisdom of Solomon combined with the patience of Job. All this left him time to serve as a magistrate and chairman of the Domestic Appeals Court in the 1970s and 80s, and chair of the Criminal Injury Compensation Appeals Panel. His legal standing was recognised by his election as fellow bencher of Gray's Inn in 1991. Anrhydeidus is ganghellor, cyflwyna fi ti yr athro John Andrews fel cymrawd eranrydydd Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Llwyr awdurdod a roddwyd i mi gan y cyngor derbaniad di, fel cymrawd eranrydydd Brifysgol Caerdydd. Welcome, John. Welcome.
May I first thank David Skelton for his most generous presentation. May I thank you, President Vice-Chancellor, and through you, the University here in Cardiff, for the great honour which you have bestowed on me. It's suggested sometimes when people have honorary fellowships that they might reflect back on their career and significant happenings in it. I thought that for once perhaps I'd be a bit perverse and give you the alternative university picture. It may seem surprising to you when you hear of youngsters going up to read mathematics and medicine at the ages of 13 and 14, that I first entered university at the age of 8 in 1943, in the long, hot August of that year. It was the Korean campus of what is now the University of Wales, Newport, and it was for the purpose of scrumping apples. Some years later, Newport very gracefully and forgivingly made me an honorary fellow, and the comment was made that the apple tree particularly was often linked with learning and knowledge, and this in some way perhaps meant my forgiveness. I pointed out that in fact at that very early age, if the apple tree had indeed been the tree of learning, then at the age of 8 I had learned a lesson that a lot of learning can lead to bellyache. My trespasses in Cardiff, somewhat later and rather less felonious, they coincided with my student days at Oxford, which was in those days a very monastic university, dominated by its male colleges in the centre of town, with a very small percentage of women students around the periphery. Life was very much within colleges and very much concentrated on male activities, particularly beer cellars. Here in Cardiff, the university had taken much more to the 20th century, and I found here at that time a great deal of pleasure. I first went to the Students' Union. I must confess, as some of you may know, that in those days the Students' Union in Cardiff was dry. I didn't go back to the Students' Union, but I do remember the student dances in Cardiff, the going down dances in the Edwardian Baroque splendour of the City Hall as being much beyond anything that I had known in Oxford in those days. But above all, at that time, in Cardiff, there was a law library. Rather uniquely, Cardiff had a very splendid law library and no law students at that time. Some teaching of solicitors' article clerks took place, and there was a Part 1 course. But it did mean that during the summer vacations, I had a law library to myself here in Cardiff and was able to make up for the way in which I had perhaps fallen behind at Oxford. I learned then my first love for Cardiff, and in many ways I think the opportunity to work here contributed significantly to my being able to obtain a first-class honours degree at Oxford. Also here, of course, the Welsh National Opera, those French Impressionists in the National Museum. It was a formative years for me, and I very much appreciate it. I want to pay 2 tributes today. If I put on my old hat as Chief Executive of the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales, when one looks back to 1992, the recently merged University College of Cardiff and the University of Wales Institute of Science and Technology were struggling to recover from tremendous financial difficulties which had fallen on the University College in the 1980s. It was a pleasure to work with this institution, as David has said, and to see it pulling itself up, not just pulling itself up, but as the President said earlier, within 10 years, by 2002, Cardiff was ranked 7th in the United Kingdom in the research assessment exercise. And within 15 years, Cardiff, as he said again, had become one of the top 100 universities in the world. And I would like today, publicly, to congratulate and salute all those people here in the University of Wales, in the University of Cardiff, who had contributed so much to the institution in taking it to such a proud position. My second tribute is, of course, to those of you graduating today. I'm honoured to be given this opportunity to congratulate you. Degree days are very special. They're occasions of pride and pleasure for you, the graduates, and for parents, guardians, supporters, friends, siblings, helpers who are here with you today. I want to emphasize again they are occasions of pleasure for those who taught you here and taught you before. They're occasions for celebration, if not entirely with pomp, certainly with circumstance, with gowns and hoods, mortarboards, but also occasions for reflection. Reflection on the help, the concern, the support that you've had from so many people. And I'm so glad this university provides the opportunity for its graduates to applaud those who've helped them. But degree days are also days when you say goodbye to many people. They're days when you look forward to new challenges. They mark a transition to new opportunities. And can I take this opportunity myself, most sincerely, to wish you all prosperity and success in your endeavours, and that you continue to hold Cardiff University in high regard and remain ambassadors for it. Thank you for putting up with me, and may this day be a day that you will remember for the rest of your lives.
Vice-Chancellor, Professor Andrews, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my very great pleasure to introduce to you a current student from the Cardiff International Academy of Voice, Noel Hernandez, who will sing the Verdi favourite from Rigoletto, La Donna Immobile. Ladies and gentlemen, Senor Hernandez.
sempre misero, chi a lei s'affida, vive colpita, malca oltre il cuore, ormai non sente sì, che dice appieno, di su quel seno non ne fa amore. La donna è mobile, quadro mal vento, morta d'argento, ed il pensier, ed il pensier.
see, we don't just get the cup finals and win Grand Slams in this town. We produce voices like that. Although, of course, Senor Hernandez had something to do with it as well. It's now my duty to draw these proceedings to a close. And at this time, in all of the congregations, I feel a particular sense of satisfaction and joy because these ceremonies are one of the most pleasurable experiences in the university calendar, indeed in life itself. It's a real joy to see the pride and indeed the relief felt by the people collecting their qualifications as they cross the stage. I think a miracle attends on each of these occasions, especially when so many of the young women wear spectacularly high heels. Nobody tripped. Nobody's mortarboard fell off. That in itself a geometric miracle in some cases. Only 4 of the male students, as far as I could see, actually winked at the Vice-Chancellor when they collected their congratulations. None of the young women winked at the Vice-Chancellor. Whether he was winking, I'm not very sure because his back was to me. But it is a very great joy. To the people who've graduated today, I say I hope you take with you very happy memories of your time in Cardiff. I hope that you feel confident that your studies have been a valuable contribution to your lives and careers. And I hope that you are determined to use your talents to your maximum potential in order to fulfill yourselves and in order to serve the rest of the world. To us, of course, you will always be Cardiff people, Hiliogaeth Caerdydd. And I trust you'll be proud to carry that identity and be ready to use the advantages of being part of our worldwide alumni network. I also make a special request on this 125th anniversary of the founding of the university. It is that your friends and your family make a contribution to the fund which we've established to provide 125 more scholarships and bursaries for future Cardiff students. We're not asking for huge donations, though I confess we're not going to turn them away if they come in. We simply want contributions that will increase the opportunity for others to be able to study, to succeed, to be able to experience a day like today. For those who have come to the end of this particular chapter in their lives, I wish each of you good fortune, good health, and every success in the future. Llong gyfarchiadau, iechyd da, a phob llwyddiant. Diolch yn fawr iawn.